Despite the bailout of the banks, many mortgage providers are still operating a very belligerent attitude, not giving sufficient mortgage offers to mortgagees, offering them incredibly high and unaffordable deposits. And would he...
I do agree with a lot of what he said there, that building societies and banks have an obligation under the agreements that they've signed with the government to make available mortgage finance as well as small business finance at affordable rates to members of our community. But I think he will also agree that we have put aside £1.5 billion to build another 20,000 extra affordable homes over the next period of time for rent and for low-cost home ownership. And we are doing what we can as a government to give local authorities more powers to build, to make sure that the private sector responds with offers to people such as shared purchases, shared equity, as well as the new public investment we're making. We are doing what we can and will continue to pursue a policy that gives, we hope, over time, everybody an affordable home in this country.
Dr Alistair MacDonald.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. The Prime Minister will recall some months ago that I raised serious concerns with him about banks now fleecing small businesses to recover the monies they lost through foolish and reckless deals. Is he aware that things are getting worse in many cases? Indeed, Halifax, which is part of the Lloyds Group and is effectively nationalised as one of the worst offenders, credit's been withdrawn and credit has been refused. But worse still, I have a note here that says that currently small overdraft facilities are costing £13 a month, even for £2,000. And that is going to go up on the 6th of December.
Question mark. I think the Prime Minister's got the drift of it.
Can the Prime Minister do something?
Prime Minister, I think the Prime Minister knows what the question is.
We have signed agreements about lending with these banks, and we are determined to enforce them. I can tell them that our evidence is that large companies are able to get money at the moment, that medium-sized companies generally are able to get money, but there are specific sectors where it's very difficult, that small businesses need additional help, and that is what we are trying to make available through the Department of Business. And I can also tell them that 200,000 companies have been able to get help with their cash flow through the measures we introduced to help small businesses. £4 billion has been deferred by the Treasury. Now, that is a measure we have taken as we've helped homeowners and helped the unemployed, but it depends on us being willing to spend money to take us out of recession. That is our decision and that is our choice. It's unfortunate it doesn't have all-party support in this House.
Thank you
very much, Mr Speaker. On behalf of my party and my friends in the Scottish National Party, may I associate myself fully with the words of condolence and sympathy expressed by the Prime Minister. And on the military covenant, for some 12 months or so now, I've been trying to obtain information from government. Could the Prime Minister tell me now, please, how many ex-service personnel are currently in prison?
I don't have the exact figure, and I will write to him on that specific matter. But what I do say to him, that more help is available now than ever before to help people who leave the services so that they avoid either being homeless or alternatively being without jobs or opportunities. And I think if he reads the white paper that we put forward our proposals in, he will show that more is happening than ever before to help the people. Now, that, of course, has got to be improved over the years, and we will do so. But I would hesitate to say what the figure is at the moment, but I will write to him immediately after question time.
Lee Morgan.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The Prime Minister has been a great champion in the fight against child poverty, and under this government, child poverty has fallen. But there are still far too many children living in poverty, and in Wales, particularly in workless households. What further measures can he propose to bring down child poverty?
Mr Speaker, we are committed to eradicating child poverty in this country. We have taken 500,000 children out of poverty as a result of the child tax credits, child benefit and other measures we take. I hope that there is an all-party consensus on removing child poverty, but I have to say to this House, you cannot cut child poverty if you cut child tax credits. You cannot cut child poverty if you cut educational maintenance allowances. You cannot cut child poverty if you cut Sure Start. And you cannot cut child poverty if you deny young people the chance to get both the best education and the best opportunity for work.
Hunter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The RAF have identified the need for 3 further aircraft to replace Nimrod R1 spy planes. New Nimrods, built in my constituency in Woodford, which the government has already invested £3.6 billion in, are ideal for the task. Could he therefore explain why his government has chosen instead to buy 40-year-old American aircrafts, and how that ties in with his commitment to British jobs for British workers?
I know that he's interested in future work for his constituents, and that's why he's raising this question. I can tell him we haven't made a final decision on the next stage of orders, and I will write to him when we do so.
Anne Moffat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wonder if my right honourable friend shares my concern about the ever-increasing exploitation in the construction industry, where foreign workers are driving wages down and they're not complying with particular safety regulations. It's something that comes to my surgeries on a regular basis. Now, I think both the foreign workers and the indigenous workers have been exploited by the employers. Do we need stricter regulation?
Well, it's exactly why we're bringing in the Agency Workers Directive and giving it legislative power through the House of Commons. But I can also say that there is a helpline for vulnerable workers which we set up after we had the Vulnerable Workers Commission. That is available for anybody on a confidential and an anonymous basis to put their complaints, and we will deal with those complaints that people put to us. It is in nobody's interest that vulnerable workers are left without the help they need, and I hope we can do everything we can to support them.
Michael Spicer.
Will he confirm that he will soldier on to the bitter end?
Mr. Speaker, we have got a programme for government. Unfortunately, the other side do not.